All right, welcome back for day 2 of solving three-step equations. Before you get back into practicing with this, I want to take just a minute to review what we discussed yesterday and show you a couple of extra examples just to make sure that you're all good. All right, so three-step equations. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. Step 1, remember in these equations what you're going to see is the variable on both sides of that equation. So you are going to add or subtract in order to cancel the smallest variable. So determine which one is the smallest, and then add or subtract to cancel him out. And remember, to cancel, you have to do the opposite. And then step 2 is to undo addition or subtraction that you see happening to the variable. And then step 3 is to undo multiplication or division that you see happening to the variable. So cancel the smallest variable, undo add or subtract, undo multiply or divide. Those are the 3 steps you're going to do. All right, so let's start with this example. Let's start with 5x plus 8 is equal to 3x plus 2. All right, draw your line through the equal sign and start at step 1. We're going to add or subtract to cancel the smallest variable. Well, my variables are 5x on this side, 3x on this side. Who is the smallest? Well, it's the 3. 3 is definitely smaller than 5. So I'm going to cancel positive 3x by adding or subtracting. Well, since this is positive 3x, I would need to do the opposite and do minus 3x to cancel him out. If I do it to one side, I do it to the other. So step 1 is going to require me to do minus 3x on each side. My plus 3x and my minus 3x cancel each other out. So that's what that first step was designed to do. Identify your smallest variable, add or subtract to make him cancel out. So let's see what we have now. 5x minus 3x is 2x. I have a plus 8, and that's equal to a positive 2. So 2x plus 8 is equal to 2 is my new equation. So now I'm down to a 2-step equation. So next I'm going to undo adding or subtracting. So let's cover up our variable, 2x. And beside him we see a plus 8, so we see adding 8. Let's undo that. To undo adding 8, we will subtract 8 on each side. Adding 8, subtracting 8, undo each other, so those are gone. Move your cover. So let's see what we have now. We have 2x is equal to 2 minus 8, which is negative 6. So now I'm down to a 1-step equation, undo multiplying or dividing. 2x is 2 times x, so I am multiplying by 2. So to undo that, I will divide by 2. Multiplying by 2, dividing by 2, cancel each other out. X equals negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. All right, another problem. Let's do 6 minus b. And I'm going to change that to an x, I think. So 6 minus x is equal to 5x plus 30. Now, before we actually get into the steps on this one, I want you to look over here on this left-hand side for just a moment at 6 minus x. 6 minus x. What number is sitting in front of that x? Well, I hope you remember from previous videos and previous discussions that that would be 6 minus 1x. So if I were you, I definitely would write that 1 in front of that x because I think that's helpful. All right, draw your line, and here we go. The first thing we're going to do is either add or subtract to cancel the smallest variable. So let's first determine what our smallest variable is. On this side, I see negative 1x. Notice how I'm grabbing that sign in front of him. That's really important. On this side, I see 5x. So who is smallest, negative 1 or positive 5? And the answer, of course, is negative 1 is smallest. So I'm going to cancel out negative 1x by doing the opposite and adding 1x. I'll have to do the same thing to that other side. So I have determined that negative 1x is the smallest, and I do the opposite, which is adding 1x to cancel him out. My subtract 1x and my add 1x undo each other. They cancel. So I have 6 is equal to 5x plus 1x is 6x, and then my plus 30. So step 1 is done. All right, now I'm at a two-step equation. So next up, I'm going to undo adding or subtracting. And as always, I'm going to cover up my 6x so I can see what I got. And what I see is adding 30. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 30, both sides. Let's take away that cover. He has served his purpose. My adding 30 and my subtracting 30 undo each other. So I have 6 minus 30 is a negative 24, and that is equal to 6x. So one more step to do, undo multiplying or dividing. I can see 6x, 6 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying by 6, which is dividing by 6, both sides. My multiply by 6 and my divide by 6 undo each other, so x is alone. Negative 24 divided by 6 gives me negative 4 as my answer. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do 4x minus 8 is equal to 10 minus 2x. Line through the equal sign. All right, first step, add or subtract to cancel that smallest variable. My variables are 4x and negative 2x. Always look for the sign in front. So I'm questioning myself, what's smaller, 4 or negative 2? And I know that negative 2 is smaller than 4. So I'm going to cancel out minus 2x by either adding or subtracting. Well, I see minus, so I'm going to do plus. So plus 2x on this side to cancel that out. And then, of course, I'll have to do the same thing on this side. So we found our smallest variable. We saw minus 2x, so we do the opposite with plus 2x. Minus 2x plus 2x cancels. So let's see what our equation is now. 4x plus 2x is 6x. Then we bring down a minus 8, and that's equal to a positive 10. So I know now that I'm back in two-step equation land. Cover up your variable, and you're going to undo adding or subtracting. Well, I see subtracting 8. So I undo that with adding 8. So plus 8 plus 8. Always in that undo mindset. Do the opposite mindset. All right, so let's see what we got. Subtracting 8, adding 8, cancels. So we have 6x equal to 10 plus 8, 18. So next up we undo multiplying or dividing. This is multiplying by 6, so we divide by 6. The multiplying by 6 and the dividing by 6 cancel. So x equals 18 divided by 6, which is 3. All right, so again, you're going to practice with these 3-step equations today. Thursday and Friday, we will be moving on to 4 steps, so we'll be adding on to this. So make sure today, if you have questions, that you contact me and let me know so that we can handle those. We can take care of those. Also, keep in mind that we are now halfway through our last week of 100% virtual instruction. So some of you will be returning to school on Monday next week. So be getting the loose ends tied up, those assignments you haven't finished, be getting those done so that when we come back to school, we're ready. All right, any questions, be sure and let me know.